Welcome back to Women Who Move. I'm Holly, here with Katrina, and today we're joined by the beautiful Vanessa, founder and creative director of Cleo Harper, one of the Gold Coast's most loved and recognised fashion and activewear brands. What started as a small, self-funded business has grown into a global brand worn by women everywhere, known for its feminine designs, elevated everyday pieces, and that signature Cleo Harper feel that women generally connect with.
Vanessa, welcome to Women Who Move. I am so excited to have you here today. And for me and Holly, I think your journey has been such a kind of inspiring example for what happens when women truly back themselves. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the best thing. And I've seen that you've genuinely created something that fits into women's lives so effortlessly, but also empowers them in the same sense. It is just amazing to watch. So yeah, welcome to Women Who Move.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. I was really excited to be here today, and it's really been a couple of months in the making, so it's nice to be here. So thank you for that.
You were one of, so when we reach out to people and say, hey, who do you recommend or what do you think? And we get people DM us each week recommending people. You are one of the top recommendations.
Thank you for that.
And that was really exciting as well to kind of
good.
have you. I think it was about 8 or 9 times I was DM'd going, have you spoken to Vanessa? I'm like, no, look, guys, I just need...
We're getting there.
You.
We're getting there.
And I'm such a behind-the-scenes person, so this is like a nice way for me to be able to connect with everyone. So thank you for that.
It's nice because, you have such a presence when you walk in. You give this soft, genuine, nurturing impression, but we obviously know you are a total boss.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for that. But I think what means, and you'll probably get this as we speak today, but like that one-on-one connection and speaking with people in person, that's like my thing. So behind a camera, not so much, but I know other people shine in that respect, but one-on-one and like when I'm in the boutique speaking to customers, that's when I'm at my most like comfortable. Exactly.
Strong. It's, I guess we'll get straight into it. Before Cleo Harper became the brand that everybody knows today. What did life kind of look like for you? What was business and entrepreneurship was something that you kind of imagined yourself, or did it evolve naturally over time? Because I think that as a woman building a fashion label on the Gold Coast, there were at the time a lot of women trying to do that. When did you realise that this is what you were going to do, and how did you set yourself apart so quickly and in such a massive way?
I think like e-commerce opened up so many doors for people, and we were kind of at the forefront of that in a sense. Like, we're going back really even say 12, 13 years, like the brand's been around for 10 years now. But our product development started say 3 years before that anyway. So really, if you're talking 13 years, think about how different everything was in e-commerce, online shopping, Instagram. It was all like almost brand new in a sense. So we were kind of there at that moment, which is really powerful. And then going back to my history, I just was always just a worker. Like I loved working, had a really strong work ethic.
What was your first job?
My first job was Macca's.
Oh,
as so many Australian kids would have been. Yeah. So that's like a good foundation for training,
Is it not the best foundation for Holly? Back in the day, like you'd spend 4 weeks on fries. Literally fries
you
was
worked
a
hard
manual.
And finished at 1 a.m. Like we finished 1 a.m. shift, Dad would come pick me up from work. You'd go again the next day, saved up for my car, like within 7 months, quit McDonald's. Like that was my job done.
Do you remember having to, when you put the salt on the fries, right, you have to do it in the shape of an M?
No, I don't remember that.
That's what I was trained to do. When you shook, you had to go that and like that.
Everything had a process, which was good. So that's why it was such a great foundation, and you were thrown in the deep end. Like you just,
like 13, 9 months you could work. I don't know if that's the same now.
Yeah,
but
it's even younger now.
What?
Yeah, it's 13.
I used to wait for 13, 9 months before I could get my first job at Macca's.
Exactly, yep. So saved up for my car. Then I went into, I was in musical theatre at the time as well, still at school, obviously. So we had a few shows that came up, which were really exciting. And then I did a lot of teaching. So I was a dance teacher.
Yep.
Also had like 3 jobs at one time. I worked in admin at a golf course for 3 years, which I loved.
This does not surprise me.
Yeah, and then I was doing some auditing work up at Korean Cove. So I was doing that, and I was dance teaching as well. So I kind of had everything going, but I always feel like before you have kids, it's like your moment or your years to really maximize and make the most out of, like to set yourself up really.
Yes.
And, because you guys are in property, but I bought my first property when I was 19 because I just knew that's what I wanted to do. So I saved. So it was like save up for the car, got the car, keep working, save up for the unit or whatever
Yeah.
you want to buy. And back then that was before the Gold Coast boom. So I was so fortunate to get in then, and then that kind of set us up going forward. So it just starts from those small steps, I suppose, like saving and all of that going forward. So I think that entrepreneurial business aspect is always something I've loved.
And you did a lot of that on your own too, didn't you?
Totally. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah. Like my dad and my mum were both, such great like examples of having a really strong work ethic. And it's kind of like, if you've got that, and we try and instill that in our kids as well, like you'll be able to do whatever you do. And I think it's good for women to know whatever you have done in your past all comes back to what you're doing now as well. So I would have never have looked ahead and gone, oh, Cleo Harper, fashion label or anything like that.
You're just a really hard worker.
Yeah,
exactly. My mum said to me, I don't care what you do, I don't care what you become, but you better be the best at it. And I remember going, so you don't care if I scrub toilets? And that line that I still have written down in my journal, which is, I don't care what you do, but if you are if you scrub toilets for a living, you better be the best damn toilet scrubber in Australia.
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten that quote from her. And it was, if you work hard, you'll be great at anything.
Yeah, and of course, like work can be fulfilling, but it's also at the end of the day a job to pay the bills too.
Yes.
So you've got to remember that as well. So.
All right. And you mentioned that you came from a dance background and owned a studio before moving into the activewear industry and space. I'd love to know how much of that world shaped you in the way you wanted women to feel in creating and building Cleo Harper.
Well, I mean, so much of like my childhood was like leotards, spandex, tights, like you're wearing costume, everything is stretch fabric. So going into the world of activewear is like, the dance world kind of was already there first, you know. So that was like a great foundation. And then costume design, in dance I was, you're cutting music, you're choreographing, you're very creative, you're putting on shows, you're doing concerts. There's so many things that you're coordinating there. So then to transition into Cleo Harper, it was almost a natural progression. But my initial inspiration was really for professional dancers, say in the American Ballet Theatre, to have these beautiful like leotards and active pieces, but then gym world kind of grabbed a hold of it, and that's what took off. And I think we stood out at that time because we had this feminine ballet feel.
Very
gap in the mark.
Soft, exactly.
Yeah, it was just gentle. It wasn't as aggressive. Like not everyone had to wear
bold,
black. Like and the women were kind of very much only having back then. It was like what became trendy was wearing your boyfriend's partner's stuff, and it was black and grey and grungy. It's nice to have those pieces.
Bold branding, like a lot of the colours to choose from for women were like pink, purple, and black.
Yeah.
And so there's so much outside of that, and so exactly. So we went into, I think Cleo Harper looked different from the outset completely, even just with our minimal branding. Like we've got the signature gold tag. It's just very subtle, and
so classy.
women loved it.
Because that's obviously to go back to that. But back when you launched the brand, and obviously it's very different to what it is now, as you were saying. What did you think? And obviously you probably already answered this, but what was missing for women at the time that made them grasp onto this and kind of create this kind of like phenomenon of women just rushing out to get it? Did you know at the time? Like I would put a note down here that said, Cleo Harper is pieces that women want that are beautiful, flattering, practical, and wearable in real life.
Yeah, I think because I was teaching at the time, just before Cleo Harper and before I had my children. So I was obviously in a version of activewear all day, and you're going then to teach at night, but you're sort of going about your daily life during the daytime. So it was that first transition from like, I'm wearing this all day, how can I make it look like I'm not just in a ballet class or going to a studio or going to a workout sort of thing. So I think it started then you're layering and you're sort of always dressing it up with different shoes and jewellery and things like that. So that sort of, was always a great foundation for what Cleo is today.
I think that's, and one of the things I guess, I know a lot of women will relate to this, is that we're trying to make, active wear and business wear, and we're trying to mix them all in. But why can't you just make your active, like it's without it being black. There's so many blacks and so many just kind of very harsh tones. I like the fact that pretty much all of my activewear and wear is Cleo Harper.
Yeah,
just
so
for me personally, it's the softness of the fabrics.
Yeah.
For me, it's the lightness, it's the durability as well. Like I don't have a lot of light and very soft. Like even like I do have a few black items. But yeah, for me, it's actually the texture,
the colour. I love working with colour.
Yeah, but the texture is so different.
Yes.
Like it is softer and it is easier to wear. And like when you're a mum running around, like I don't want to put something on that is going to put me into I can't breathe, but I still want to have those soft lines.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, and because we're designing collections, so everything's very cohesive in that collection. We were up to like 60 or maybe 70 odd collections that we've designed since the beginning of the brand. So we were that was a bit of a point of difference at the start too. We were the first probably activewear brand doing everything in collections. Like we'd have a 15-piece collection or a 30-piece
Yes.
collection. And people these days like do use the word collection, but it's often just like 4 pieces, 5 pieces. It's not as such. It's more like a drop, you know, whereas we design this whole cohesive collection that'll have like some lounge pants in it. And
you run it through. I feel like it starts with, you can do 4 or 5 different activities. Like it will have, it starts with activewear and then you've got a bit of corporate.
Yes, we've just released in this last drop like a cashmere trench coat. So it's obviously super luxurious, and that was like the first thing to fly out the door this week. So it was great to know that it's not just active pieces that our customers gravitate towards.
A lot of my workwear is Cleo Harper as well. My work dresses and things, being that we back-to-back appointments, doing school pickup, drop-off, I need something that's comfortable but also looks really classy and corporate. And my favourite work dresses are all
good.
Are all your gear.
Versatile.
That's lovely. Thank you.
And taking it back to the start when you were building Cleo Harper, did you have this huge vision in mind, or were you just taking it step by step,
Definitely
learning
not.
as you went?
Yeah, I think step by step is key. You know, you can't ever look to the future and go, oh, this is what it's going to become. I knew we were sort of onto something early because it was sort of picking up really quick traction, almost more so than what it does these days, because now it's a very different market now, you know, but back then it was something so unique in the market. Our backlines, I think, was something that really stood out from the beginning, and it's kind of like, oh, I've never seen a sports bra like that before, but it's still supportive. You know, people think, oh, it looks pretty, but does it actually perform? And so we had those 2 things covered, like the performance aspect and the beauty of the product, you know. And then thinking ahead, we were actually quite, again, being like right at the forefront of Instagram when it was kind of really taking off, we were able to connect with some amazing, huge influencers. I mean, they were growing for by hundreds of thousands of followers a day. Like that's how quick things were moving back then.
That's later on in our...
Yeah.
But I think back when you did kind of start that though, I think a lot of the influencers took on your brand because it was back in the day when there wasn't as big a paid ads and paid sponsorships.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
You guys got such huge names because they had seen the product and seen someone wear it. Like that was back when the beginning influencers came on.
It was organic.
It was organic. Like getting a call from someone going, hey, I really want to be part of this. I want to get, that was some of the biggest influencers I saw were ones that really kind of reached out to you.
For sure.
And you've created a business that, as I've said a few times now, it really fits into women's real lives, whether they're working, raising families, training, traveling, or juggling everything at once. How important has it been for you to design for that modern woman in mind and create pieces that feel both stylish and practical every day? And do you think that, you know, women are really looking for more versatility from fashion compared to now than when you first started?
Definitely. And I'm a minimalist at heart. So for me, it's like what I do have in my wardrobe or what I do have in my home, I want it to be like, I use that, I love that. It's not kind of just collecting a whole lot of things. So I think to have pieces that do go between lots of different, you know, areas of your life is important. So something you can dress up and dress down, as well as just those super reliable active pieces that you can go to every day. And I always just say to myself, like, even when we've got a new design coming or new pieces that we're sampling, I'm like, am I reaching for that thing? Like, am I actually going for that every day? Or is it just something that it looks nice, but I'm not really going to use it that much? So it's always that functional element of, you know, of those pieces too.
Looks good, but feels good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And for our younger listeners who might have a dream or an idea sitting in their mind, what would you say to someone who wants to start something out but maybe feel scared or not fully ready yet?
I think, you know, there's never the perfect time, obviously. You know, you do your research, and that's probably my favourite phase, like the research phase. And I'm still in that phase all the time because my heart is like product innovation. So I'm always in fabrics and design, and that's like my happy place, as well as, you know, overseeing the rest of the business, of course. But I think once you've got that down pat, and I always think you do need a good product to start with. You know, I think people kind of go, oh, I just want a business for the sake of it or the lifestyle or whatever. It's like, you need to spend some time on your product and make sure it's what people want. And somewhere I think people get caught up a little bit is they'll sort of, you know, do a little focus group with their friends and family, and it's like, what do you all think of it? And of course they're all going to sing your praises because they love you and they want you to do well. But this is something, you know, very, I guess, contradictory in a sense, but my friends and family did not know about Cleo Harper for about 2 years.
Wow.
And that's not even in the development phase. That was like in the launch phase.
So I'm like, that's technically 5 years then.
Yep, pretty much. So I just was of this mind, like, and I know it's not for everyone, but it's like if I fail, I want to fail quietly.
Yeah.
And if I succeed, I want to succeed quietly as well. So it's never been this big, like, look what I'm doing, and then people follow up with you a few months later or years later and it's like, how's that thing going? And you're kind of like, oh yeah, that didn't really work out, you know, and that's not a bad thing. Some people need to have that support around them going forward. I just like to go about my work very quietly and kind of make it all happen. And then it was almost like awkward to kind of tell my friends and family, like, oh, sorry, I've kind of been working on this thing. And then
becoming a big deal.
At that point it was established, you know, but because I wasn't
like,
the face of the brand or anything, you know, I was able to build that quietly too. And I think there's something to that. It's like, build quietly, do your thing. You don't have to get all this recognition on the outside for it, because that's, I think, how you will build a brand. You know, you're making something that people actually want, not just your friends and family. I think that's really important, because you can get really carried away with what people are saying about it, but they're not your real customer. So you need to find your real customers. That's really important.
Can I go a bit rogue here?
Go
Ollie?
for it.
Because obviously we prepare questions and we send them to our talent and all that. I want to, because I don't know if anyone's asked, give me the backstory. Give the listeners the backstory of the name.
Cleo Harper. Yeah, it's not that exciting actually.
I know,
so
but like I know, and I'm just like,
people ask, and I think it's more just
going to be asking, why didn't you ask?
It was a massive brainstorming session of, you know, and not wanting it to be locked into activewear as such. So it was sort of like we could go into any
background. You were like, I want to be able to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but also, you know, you do, I think when you're in fashion, you can go in any direction. Like you can go into footwear, you can go into home, you can go into, also you go to fragrances. Like there's so much you could go into, which I love. So I love that the name didn't lock us into anything. And it just felt like its own thing. And that's what's really taken off. People love
your fourth child.
The brand. Yeah. So, yeah. And even with that, I always say, like, I've got 3 kids, like the business is not my child. You know what I mean? Like, and but that's contradictory, because you hear that in business a lot. Like, oh, this is my baby and everything. And I've actually never felt like that.
Oh, because maybe do you think it was having the separate name, having it separated?
Probably. Yep. It's so separate from me, which I think is also good. You know, you really need those clear lines in your life between work and personal, but maybe it's just me as a person that it's not my be all and end all. Like I love it and I enjoy what I do, but I have a whole life outside of work, which I really enjoy, and that, you know, keeps me grounded. I don't know, we'll probably talk about that a bit later on anyway.
I think that as well, sometimes a lot of the women that come on, it's burnout is a real thing. Yeah. And that does come, like you have to put boundaries up. And obviously you're extremely established and you know have that background, but I think that complete, like having boundaries and this is my alone time is so important, or you just won't have longevity. I'll go back to the notes now. I'll go my rogueness. As a woman leading a growing business and being creative, as you said, managing a team, balancing relationships, your family and life outside of work, how has that approach changed over the years? And what have you learned about protecting your energy, as we said, avoiding burnout, while still growing something that you care really deeply about? Because you are a mother as well.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That can be scary to feel like you have to put all the hats on at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's, you know, different seasons of life and you just need to embrace those. Like I said, when you have those early years and it's just mainly you and you don't have children, go for it. Like you just, for me anyway, it was like work, and you have the energy to do that. So I loved, and you kind of find that sets you up. Then as you, as I grew Cleo Harper with children, I knew it was like family first. Whatever happens to the business is going to be whatever happens to the business. So I could do as much as I possibly could and pour into it as much as I could, but I knew there was going to be a limit there. And I'm like, I just need to go slow with this so that I can put all my time into the family, and then the business will evolve as it goes. And it has, you know, and now they're all at school and they're older. And
what did you mention when you came in about giving birth?
Yeah, having my son. Yeah, so we've got 3 children, and when we had our third, I was actually having him in the hospital.
Yes.
The day or around the day that we actually launched Cleo Harper. So, and it's just, we're just saying that, you know, mums tend to do that. It's kind of like, we'll just, and you just become really super efficient. Like you just, you've got limited time. So you're like, the time that I do have, I'm going to spend doing this.
Third kid.
Yeah, well, it just happened at the time. I think it was between the second and the third that I was really brainstorming everything and developing the product, should I say. And I think when you have little ones, like life, you know, it forces you to be a bit slower in life, as in like, I've got to take my time, you know, you're literally like down on their level and doing slow, you know, they're learning to walk, so you've got a lot of like thinking time. Yes. So that's a great time to be brainstorming and doing all of that. So my downtime really during those years was working, because I just loved it. I really poured myself into that. So
love that.
Yeah, like so I could do that.
So many women in my industry at the moment that will come to me and say, I want to have a baby, but I'm worried I'm going to lose it all. It's a really big question that I get, especially when, you know, Holly and I go to events or whatnot. And I always say the most successful years of my entire career have been when I was pregnant with my first 2 daughters. I think I was at about 9 months, the amount of motivation that I had to get shit done.
You know, you got limited time, so you make it really effective.
I just think that I was at my absolute best. There was less noise. Like, you know, you had a reason not to go out for mugs on a Friday night or go to that after work. Your priorities become so laser focused.
That's right.
When you are pregnant and when you have children. So I absolutely love that you shared that, because no other woman I've had on this podcast, when they've said they've had their children in that moment, a lot of them didn't take maternity leave, had to go straight in. Yeah. The fact that you built that back end with the other children, it's something that I do say to a lot of the girlies that I speak to and go, like, give it a go, because you will be unstoppable.
Yeah, I agree.
I just think it's when after they come and you're like, oh my God, they're noisy and they wake up every 3 hours.
Yeah.
But mate, that 9 months before, God.
That's right. Yeah.
3 years worth of work.
Yeah, exactly right. You can get a lot done during that time.
So the partnership, let's talk about that. The partnership with Kelsey Wells was such a huge moment for the brand and really kind of gave you guys, you were already elevated, but it gave you that a very big kind of jump.
Yes.
It's more that global stage. How did that collaboration come about, and what did it teach you about backing your brand internationally as an Australian female founder?
Well, we were fortunate because we met Kelsey back in our first year of business. So people probably didn't know that. We sort of had the collaboration and then the later years of the business, how it is currently. But we were already in connection, and I think that's how we really built relationships within the business. It wasn't just like, oh, you're an influencer, can you do this for us? Or, it wasn't
that's
even...
what we were saying before.
That wasn't even a thing back
you.
then. So exactly. So it was really like establishing this relationship. We've got an amazing brand manager, Courtney, who has been like my go-between with all of these people. She's been there since day one. And so she's great at building relationships and finding connections with people. So with Kelsey, we were just conversing, and she came and did a photo shoot for us in the early days as well. So she came out to Australia, did 3 collection shoots with us, which was really good. And then she sort of had contracts where she couldn't wear certain brands or, and we understood that, but we still kept sending her pieces because she was still wearing that in the gym in her daily life. So we kept that connection going. And then when the time came, she said, I really want to design my own pieces. Like, could I do it with you guys? And we were like, absolutely, like we would love that. So we did 3 collections together. And and we'd love to keep on going. But, she has her different path. We've got our different path as well. So it, that's just how it worked out.
Internationally, what did you find different? Like,
probably not a great deal, because we were actually bigger in the US market originally than the Australian market, which again, coming back to e-commerce, it can be borderless if you set it up the right way. And, we've got really great express shipping worldwide. So it feels to our customer in the US or Switzerland or the UK or wherever that we're just down the road from them, because they'll get their parcel in 3 to 5 days. Wow. So for them, it's not a big deal to order internationally, and we kind of make it feel that way. Like we want to just feel like we're right there with everybody.
Yeah. I am sorry, Hol's going to kill me at the end of this podcast. I wanted to ask, because you talk about when you came in, you discussed that one of the girls that because I love popping into the boutique, like it's just up the road from me, so it works. But you said one of the girls was there for 5 years.
Yes, Caroline.
I haven't asked you this, but I always ask every guest that comes on, your leadership style. Obviously, a lot of the women that we interview manage teams of women. Jodie Cottle, who owns quite a few laser skin clinics, she has said that's a very big difference to managing women. What would you say your leadership style is, and do you think there is a difference in the way you manage your women, and how do you have some of these women that have worked with you for the entire history? Like, that's crazy to be able to have that sort of sticking power with women. Tell me, explain
I think
your
one of
style.
my, something I do enjoy in the business is recruiting. Like that I feel like is one of my strengths,
So you do all the recruiting, like you do all the interviews yourself? Like
I have to. I feel like unless I know that this person is going to be exactly what we need, then, I'd like to just, we're very efficient. So we kind of go with like, is this the right person for the right role? And I would rather have like a really small, super efficient team than a lot of people on deck who are just doing little bits and pieces and not there for the long haul, So I've worked with Courtney for over 10 years. Caroline was there for 5 years. And I think with them in particular and the right people that fit with our business, it's that independence is really what is required. It's not always relying on a big team environment. And I kind of really do hire for people who are like super self-sufficient in a way, very self-led. They know exactly what they've got to get done. They go and get it. Like real...
Self-driven,
I wouldn't say necessarily entrepreneurial in their own way, but it's like their own department is something I like them to take on as their own thing.
There's
it's
a different
like
way to manage those people too. Like I've managed people like that, and it's people tend to hire that sort of personality and then micromanage them. And you can't, if you hire the right person and you give them that kind of, I always say like the glass ceilings, like give them the room to grow and build. And but then if you try to micromanage that personality,
goes the opposite way.
It won't work.
So badly.
And they're the type of person who thrives in that way. They don't need the person looking over their shoulder. They love to like create their own work and kind of go, this is what I've got, and present it. And then we go, we do our approvals and go from there. So that's, I think, why it's worked so well.
Looking ahead for the next few years long term, is there anything that you have in mind or a vision or goal for Cleo Harper?
I think the exciting thing in fashion and activewear especially is the innovation side. So I really love, again, product development, innovation. So sometimes, you don't even know what's in front of you like a year ahead. You've really kind of got to just be finger on the pulse. Exactly right. And just like the business has grown organically, we're always listening to our customer. Every email that they send through, every DM, we're reading, we're sharing as a team. So we really are very in touch with what women are wanting now. And sometimes, our collections are 12 months in the making. So you kind of get a bit impatient being like, oh, we need this out now, but it's going to take this amount of time. And that's okay. It still gets there while the trend is still current, or you can be at the forefront of that still. So
what are you most excited about over your next coming collection?
Would there be another store maybe?
Yeah, give me,
I love our flagship store here on the Gold Coast because I feel like it's a destination, and the Gold Coast is a destination. So what we find is we're almost like 50% locals, 50% travellers. So we have people coming from Canada that when they're on the Gold Coast, they're coming to Cleo, and people from Melbourne, they're like, I've got to go to Cleo while I'm on the Gold Coast.
It is a vibe, guys.
It's a destination.
Any of my listeners who haven't been to the boutique, like it is you just create the nicest space.
Yeah,
it doesn't
beautiful.
feel like a retail store.
It's an experience.
It is an experience. So the lighting to just it is not what you'd expect. So I'm a frequent shopper, and it is absolutely, it is just beautiful there, and it's so hidden and tucked away, and you don't feel pressured. Parking's easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, it is a whole different
So when
thing.
people do come to the store, we already know they're already either a customer of ours or they know the brand well because they've had a look online and they're coming into store kind of with an idea of what they're looking for. But like you said before, they'll spend an hour in store just because it is a bit of an experience. You don't feel like you got to rush away. And thankfully our staff are just beautiful in there too. So
they are. They're not pushy, but it is nice. Like, have you thought of this? I've walked out with, I said, the collections. I've walked out a few times going like, okay, I'm really happy I've got this. And they last so long.
Yes.
So we always finish up with something a little bit fun called the quick fire round. Holly's going to ask you a whole lot of questions. Just think and say the first thing that pops out of your head, and we can go from there.
Yep.
Okay, let's start. Morning workout or evening workout?
Always morning. If it doesn't get done in the morning, it doesn't get done.
Favorite Cleo Harper piece you've ever released?
That's so hard. I think because I'm a minimalist and I do go black. I know that sounds black or dark colours, but like the Unity legging that we have in Body Luxe, that's our number one. So I think you've always got to have a really good black legging.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Your coffee order?
Matcha or a chai? Yeah, matcha or chai.
I haven't gotten the matcha bandwagon yet.
I think you've got to have a good one.
I don't think you've had a good one.
Holly keeps trying to get me on. I'm like, for my it's just more mature girls. I just don't know if it's sitting with me, the green drink.
I don't know if it's strong enough for you, to be honest. You have a Red Bull and a coffee at the same time.
If you love your coffee, I feel like you love your coffee, you know what I mean? But matcha's good as an alternative to I'm not as into coffee. I love the taste, but not like the feeling it gives me. I just like a matcha or a chai or a tea.
Do you do an espresso martini if you had to?
No, that would keep me awake all night.
Yeah, I got to be par with them because I love coffee. But if I have an espresso martini, I'm like old after 5.
Yes.
I'm like, girls, let's go.
Yes.
I'm trying to die in an hour.
But you can take this off. But next door, round at St. Bart's, do you go to around there?
Yes, I do.
Great matcha. So if you're going to have a matcha, try that and see if you like it.
Okay,
because you got to have a good one to see if you like it.
And then we'll pop in.
Yeah. Simone has given me a few recommendations for a few coffee spots.
Yep.
So
try
so many to choose from now.
I love St. Bart's though.
Yeah, it's lovely there.
So pretty.
Yep.
Team meeting next week.
Yeah.
Most rewarding part about running Cleo and Harper?
I mean, I still love the flexibility of being having your own business. It's again with family life, we need to be flexible. So we, that's definitely a perk of the job. You are working a lot, but the flexibility of it and just seeing it grow, seeing hearing people like yourself who you've dropped into store and you love the pieces and they speak for themselves. That's so rewarding.
It is nice, like for someone who, and people who listen to this podcast know me, they know I'm a Red Bull coffee girl. I'm always go. That is the biggest point of difference for me. And I know your brand is so much bigger than that and it's doing so much bigger things, but coming into that store, it is a real experience for me. Someone who just needs sometimes that, just that calmness.
Take a breath,
And that is the biggest difference of any retail store that I've ever walked into is that I'm calm and it's nice. And so a lot of the girlies that listen to this who kind of are go like me, this is the place where you need to go.
And we even like to
sorry
to interrupt, we even like to extend that experience to online shoppers where when they get there, I don't know if you've ever received an online package from us. And number one, it comes really quick, so that's great. Everything's packaged in its own tote bag, something that's reusable. It's not no plastic packaging. And it's an experience in itself. So it's not so that's how we want it to feel, like you've just stepped into store, even though you're on the other side of the world and we've just sent you a package. So we like that whole opening experience to be
the bags and everything comes in, that
Yeah.
No one does.
Yeah, we either do like a garment wash bag, so you're going to reuse it, or like a tote bag that you can take to the beach.
I have the garment wash bags, and they're amazing, and I use them for like heaps of my swimmers and things.
Exactly, travel's great. Yeah,
it's it's good for that. I have a quick fire question: podcast or book?
Podcast, definitely. I would love to say book, but it's just takes forever for me to read a book.
I've got a Kindle. It has been a game changer for me.
Yeah, I've been trying to convince me to get that, but
just to listen on the run is so good.
Yeah, I just I fall asleep when I listen to a podcast before I go to bed. So now the Kindle's been good for like putting in the car. Another question is, when's your next holiday and where is it?
We're going up north with the kids, so we're doing a big drive up north. Nice. That'll be good. We've got family up in Townsville, so we're going to stop at all the little coastal towns along the way.
So you're like the banana and the prawn and...
Well, I think the banana's down
that was south. We did that last year. We did the Sydney trip last year, so that was really fun, road trip. So yeah, we're in our road trip era kind of thing at the moment, which is really nice.
Have you got a caravan?
No,
have you owned a
Prado.
caravan?
No. Even my husband, he's not like a caravan camping guy, which is good.
We're not camping, but like
glamping. He would just say, let's say, a really nice place, and I'm like, beautiful. Like, let's drive there, stay overnight, and that's it. So,
also, if you could have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one. I feel like I can't even answer. I'm not like I think I'm very inspired by like people that I've known in my life, or like even grandparents and family and people who are connected to me. So I think it would be someone in my family. Yeah. I mean, I know that's a very simple answer, but it's not like I don't know, I don't have this real aspiration for celebrities as such, but it's like
50-50
normal people.
Yeah, it's 50-50 now with everybody else. So it's either like, you know, my grandmother, my mum, or it's
there's
like...
so much admiration for those people in your life. So it's very,
Then me and Mia both said, we heard 3 women now say Michelle Obama. I was like, what's this like out there person that, you know, but yeah, so, and what's another one that what is a show or TV show you're binging at the moment?
Oh, I love any doco series.
Okay.
Like,
the Kylie Minogue one.
That's the next one on my list.
That's
so I'm going to watch that.
Too.
Yes, I've got to watch that, and I'm just trying to think what the last ones. I mean, I love the Victoria Beckham. Anything with a bit of a fashion,
so good.
Fashion aspect is good, and then David Beckham's. You know, all of those.
Are you doing the true crime?
I'm not into true crime.
I'm not into true crime
I think I need
either.
to keep my mind like really, I like to say really positive, really like uplifted. You know?
I get in my feels a little bit about it. And I'll be texting my husband when he's on night shift. Like they do scare me a bit.
Yeah, not for me.
Definitely girlies.
No.
And I guess one last question. So who was your biggest inspiration? And who was the last time that someone really changed the shape or the trajectory of your business and life, and I guess together?
Okay, well, mine is probably different to what most people may say, but like my faith is very strong. So for me, it's really grounded in like kind of what my purpose is in life, and I really find that, you know, inspiring. That's where I get my purpose from, my inspiration from. So like we go to church every Sunday. That's like our switch off day. And I feel like that for me is my reset. So it's often back to like the good old traditional, you know, values and things that people have done for many, many years. That's really grounded their family, their work life, their, you know, all of those things. So yeah.
That's really special.
It's different, like not what a lot of people would probably talk about today, but I think that to me is the most important thing.
I really resonate that. I'm really enjoying my daughter's at a Catholic school, and I wasn't grown up with a religious background, and I am, as an adult for the first time, going through those processes with her, and it has just been... As I think as a child, you get used to it, and this is what you're taught, and it's not forced on you, but it is... You know, this is just what it is. Black is black, white is white. You go through, as an adult, really appreciating and listening to the words, understanding the words. I'm really enjoying it. And it's obviously, even though I wasn't brought up religious, it's my daughter's choice. Sophie is 9, turning 10, and she has decided that she wants to go down this path and do her communion. And I'm just loving that it is her choice. And I'm really enjoying holding her hand and through
and I think there's a
real
strong sense of identity that comes when you know that that's where you came from. Like, you were created, you were designed, and the kids have a sense of that, a very strong sense of that.
Yes.
We can lose that in adulthood, so it's nice to come back to that and go, you know, and the big questions, you know, but it's like, it's important, especially when we're in business and there's all these things distracting us in everyday life, kind of come back to the core of like, what are we here for? What is our purpose? And for me, that's always friends, family, you know, and our faith. So,
well, no, I'm new to them, not like obviously, you know, but it's been something that I never thought at the age I am now that I would be sitting down learning again.
But it brings a lot of peace and comfort.
Oh,
you know?
it's been, we leave, and Sophie and I leave, because obviously, because I call myself a newbie, like I'm a Catholic in training, and we leave these. They do this wonderful presentation nights where the parents can come and learn, and we leave and we go and have sushi together, and we talk about what we thought about that and what made us comfortable, and what did this make you comfortable. And you have got to, because she's got to do like a communion thing, and we've got a sash, and you have to decorate your sash in the colours that I'm like, this would not have happened.
I don't think that happened when I went to school.
No,
Maybe I just wasn't.
Your personality, and they give you ideas, and like, and not anything reckless on there, but we go and talk about what she made her comfortable, what uncomfortable. She doesn't like to be in front of people, so that was something that was uncomfortable, but she felt safe.
So nice. I feel like it's the best gift you can give your kids.
I really resonate with you saying that, because it's something that I'm really enjoying.
That's great.
Doing this path with her together.
I love that. And we all want to like evolve more. You know, we all want to grow. We all want to learn new things. And so if that's not been a part of your life in the past, you explore it. And I'm a big one on truth. It's like, okay, unless it's the truth, do I really want to explore that? So if I find that there's really great rock solid evidence and I can really feel that difference spiritually in my life, I'm like, this is the thing.
I just think you have to, you know, I want to be educated on that. If it's something my daughter goes down, I think that as a mum, as a mother of girls, I want to make sure that I can answer questions for her and that I can understand what she's going through. And I think judgment comes from not understanding.
That's amazing.
So look, your story has been such a beautiful reminder that businesses are often built from a genuine passion and creativity and consistency and truly understanding women. I think you've created a brand that's more just a fashion brand. You've built a business and a community of women that help other women feel confident. You make them feel more feminine. You make them feel comfortable. And I think that the one thing that I would say about your brand, as someone who's worn it for quite a while, you're really good at making women feel seen in different aspects and times of their life. So as one of the Gold Coast women who, I guess, you've really paved the way for female fashion leads, your journey's been incredible and inspiring. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. It's lovely to sit down, and you never know where the conversation's going to go, which I love. So, it's so much about life and business for me, like just the two together. That's everything. Yeah. So thank you for asking those questions.
And to everyone listening today, if today's episode has inspired you, send it to a woman in your life who's dreaming about starting something their own. Your ideas matter, your creativity matters, and you never have to have everything figured out to begin. Whatever season you're in, keep moving, and we'll see you next time.